Let's go! A game steeped in myth and rumour. And let's actually start with a recent rumour about the game that seems to resurface year after year after year after year. August and September 24, yes that's right, this month and last month, saw the old rumour perpetuated once more, where it is claimed that when Mario says, "Itsumi, Mario," he's actually saying, "Itsumi, Mario." Itsumi, meaning great or superb in Japanese. Naturally, each time this rumour resurfaces, which is once every few years, people's minds are blown. People are like, what? This whole time he was saying Itsumi Mario, but he's Italian. After all, Itsumi Mario is something I imagine most people quote relatively regularly. Fact check. This rumor has been somewhat dispelled. The Nintendo website has referred to the catchphrase Itsumi Mario many times since the game's publication. Nintendo even have a figurine called Itsumi Mario. You can thank me the next time this fact rears its head. It's a great game, an absolute classic. Super Mario on the N64 was developed and published by Nintendo, obviously. In 1996, Nintendo released Super Mario 64. You could buy it for $99. However, roll forward to 2021, a sealed copy of that game sold at auction for $2.8 million US. Lesson learned, worth keeping hold of your retro memorabilia, especially if you're one of those guys that keeps the boxes for everything. It is the best-selling Nintendo 64 game, which is a great console in general. I used to play on my brother's and remember rushing back home to play on some of the classic games such as Diddy Kong Racing and of course Mario 64. In the game, Mario has to collect these hidden stars that are hidden all around the castle, and the levels, the worlds are all inside these big paintings, these magical paintings that he can jump through and enter the world on the other side. It kind of all has this really surreal Alice in Wonderland feeling where things get bigger and Mario randomly gets smaller in order to be able to jump through the paintings and that kind of thing. Obviously, a big presence of mushrooms as well, which have that psychedelic quality and that access to immediate change, immediate moving into a different world, moving into a completely different realm. Favorite level? I personally loved Tall Mountain, where Mario is kind of walking around a mountain, sea on one side and the mountain on the other, and then there's all these kind of tall mushrooms which have the coins on top, and you can bounce up and down on them and stuff, bounce from mushroom to mushroom. Going up the mountain, you can use the long jump, which is one of my favorite moves, to go from one ledge to the other, as the mountain is kind of broken in different parts. I also thought the level with the Loch Ness monster was really iconic, really kind of dark and sea creaturely. And obviously you got to use Mario's swimming ability, which was always really cute. I loved Big Boo's Haunt, which I found actually kind of scary at the time. Some details of the whole game in general were inspired by the developers' lives. And one of my favorites is that the Boos, the kind of little ghosts that are around the castle, their personality was based on assistant director Takashi Tezuka's wife, who, as Miyamoto explained, is very quiet normally. But one day, she just exploded, maddened by all the time Tezuka spent at work. And obviously you can see it in the game where the ghost just gets really, really big and really, really scary. As I said, Mario 64 is a game steeped in legend and rumour. Conspiracy theorists spread the rumour that every copy of Mario 64 is personalised, claiming that certain kind of phenomena only exist in certain discs of the game. For example, there was an alleged secret level, Hollow Horror Halls, which contained one of the castle's secret stars. It was said to be accessible by Mario ground pounding near the fountain in the castle courtyard, where you were said to drop into Hollow Harrow Halls. I distinctly remember my brother ground pounding outside the fountain multiple times. Yeah, I remember him doing it. I remember him saying he was trying to unlock something. Whether he did or not, I can't remember. But the citation of Hollow Horror Halls is well attested, and many gamers have said that they have reached that level. One developer did disclose Hollow Horror Halls was meant to be included as a level in the full disc version of Super Mario 64. And since he kind of like threw that into conversation and mentioned it kind of casually, as in just mentioned the level casually, people just kind of ran away and thought, wow, well, it must be somewhere as a secret level in Mario 64, the kind of general version. So yeah, there was this big rumor that the copies of Mario 64 were personalized, meaning that the AI code will kind of monitor your game and decide whether the player is worthy enough for accessing different levels. So people thought that the level would be kind of inaccessible for novices, but the level would be opened up if the AI thought you were competent after your gameplay, because you are the best. This is assuming that personalization kind of AI even existed at the time. Rumors. The most popular rumor was a pervasive rumor that Luigi existed as an unlockable character. In 1996, IGN offered a prize of $100 if someone could find Luigi, but to no avail. In Princess Peach's courtyard, there is allegedly a very blurry message that says L Israel 2401. It obviously got conspiracy theorists excited that Luigi was in fact within the game. This rumor was allegedly disproved in 1998, where a fan allegedly got a letter from Nintendo saying that the programmers included the text as a joke and it wasn't really meant to say anything. Hang on a minute. A fan received a letter from the Nintendo programmers. Methinks not. Methinks this is a kid at school who forged a letter from the Nintendo programmers. Yeah. Oh yeah, the Nintendo programmers wrote to me and told me that text in Peach's courtyard. Yeah. They didn't mean anything by that. Yeah, I should know because I've got a letter at home, which I can't bring into school because it's at home. But the plot thickens. Luigi was supposed to be there from the offset. An experimental build of the game actually had a split-screen multiplayer with Mario and Luigi as playable characters. There is even footage of Luigi as a playable character found on an old VHS tape, which was actually only discovered in 2023. A Japanese programmer had apparently recorded footage of Nintendo's 1995 trade show in Japan covering the event. I would really like to have been at that trade show in Japan. The footage of Luigi is not the primary focus of the clip, and actually he can barely be seen in the clip at all. Basically, the whole multiplayer thing got scrapped. If Luigi had stayed in the game, it would have led to the levels just being much more simple. They ditched him and made it a much more complex and enjoyable game starring just Mario himself as the main protagonist. In 2020, deep in the code, someone found Luigi. He is not used or accessible in the game, but he is in the code. So L is real. 2401. The game has been so popular and become so much part of classical gaming lore. It's one of those games that's inspired challenges for people to kind of beat it with certain restrictions. So, for example, in May 2024, a player named Marbler managed to beat the entire game without pressing the A button. MIPS. In a beta version of the game was essentially tested with Mario in a room with a rabbit. The rabbit became a bit of a thing, and the devs kept him in the game. The rabbit, known as MIPS, is actually Princess Peach's pet rabbit, and he lives in her basement. So the rabbit runs away when Mario approaches him. If Mario catches him, he receives a secret power star. Why is the rabbit called MIPS? Well, MIPS stands for microprocessor without interlocked pipeline stages. So it's kind of like a relic of the testing environment. Yeah, MIPS was just a little bit more catchy. So yeah, that's where MIPS comes from. A seminal song by a band called Kero Kero Bonito. The name of the band actually comes from it. In the Japanese words onomatopoeia of a frog's croak and a type of fish. Anyway, British band from London, kind of electro-pop, influenced by kind of J-pop, dancehall, and video game music. Anyway, they made a song called Sick Beat, using a sample from the Mario 64 soundtrack. Whatever console you play, if you enjoyed, don't forget to subscribe for more similar content. Pleasure was all mine.